Hello everybody. I had someone asking, one of my few subscribers, about my tyres. Just to say again, they're made by Shinko. What I must say is, if you're going to build a bike like this, there's certain things you need to do before you start, which I didn't do, and I learnt by my mistakes. Is you need to decide what forks you're going for. There is a site which has the compatibility of all the different forks matching the frames, the yokes, and the headstock bearings. See, I decided what I wanted and then got excited and bought these forks, and luckily after lots of research I managed to get the bearings to match and make the stem fit. Now I know most of the bikes they use CBR 600 front ends, GSXR front ends, but you need to sort all that out before you start buying anything, and with that you need to sort out what tyres you're going to have to go with those forks. Now I've got a 21-inch front tyre on there, which is a motocross front tyre, but when I went and had the tyres fitted, there's this chap in Portsmouth, Russ Motorcycle Tyres. Now he deals with this sort of thing a lot of the times. You really need to decide on your wheel sizes and your tyre pattern. Now I just went on Pinterest, saw this tyre pattern, I thought, oh, that looks smart. Done a bit of research on YouTube, went on it was an American comparison site, and they were saying what a good tyre they were, as in on and off road. But when I spoke to this chap in Portsmouth, he said Shinko tyres are very similar to the tyres we used to have on our bikes 30 years ago. I had an RD350 and it had Yokohama tyres on. When it rained, they were rubbish, and I fell off a few times, to say the least. And he said these tyres are very much like those. They're okay in dry weather, bit of off-roading, but you wouldn't want to use them as your everyday commuter tyre. So it depends what you're using your bike for. You know, I'm not going to be going out in the pouring rain, hence the short mud guards, and decided on not having any hugger. So you got to look into all of that, and I think probably a lot of these older tyres, older tyre patterns, Firestones, and a site I saw on yesterday with a traditional Coca tyre, which is funny because that's my last name. They're all very old tyre patterns, old rubber, none of these dual compound. So you've got to think of all that when you're doing your bike, what you're going to be running. Now see, that when I went to the Cafe Racer kit man, I phoned him up, he recommended what size rim. As I was going for a motocross, to go for a polished alley rim. You can have steel rims painted. So I think the key is to do a lot of research at the start. You can obviously disassemble your bike and start doing all the work on the frame, but when the first thing you're going to stick on is your new forks and yokes, triple trees. It also depends where you live as well. So that these tyres couldn't get them in the UK. I ordered them off eBay from Germany. I did find the front tyre, but it was more expensive buying it in England than getting it from abroad. So you've got to think of all those things. You might find a tyre you like. Can you get it compatibility with you? Because it's a very skinny tyre on the CX because of the swinging arm. I might have been able to go 5mm wider, but see, the other thing is I found is, you see the size on that tyre. It was a 4.1 by 18. And now the front tyre, I had the metric size 90. Was it 90 by 90 by 21? A lot of the sites either work in metric or imperial and don't have any sort of conversion chart, and it's really difficult trying to convert them over. But the best thing to do is, like, now I know Russ's motorcycles there, I'll go to him and speak to him about tyres and rims before I go doing anything on my next bike, if it ever happens. And I will go on the site about the forks. Now this is my first build. I say first. I did have a GSXR, which I changed the back end to a Fireblade, but that was, Christ, must be about 15 years ago. So I've been out of the bike scene for a long time. It was only because the lad across the road was converting a bike. His next door neighbour's got 2 bikes. The bloke down the road's got an Enfield. It's, you know, there's loads of bikes around here. I sort of got the hankering to get back into it again. My brother's just bought a Triumph Bonneville Silver Jubilees, so it's midlife crisis, I suppose. But think about those things before you decide on your tyres and your forks. So that was just a bit of information, really. Okay, well, as you can see, things have moved on a bit again. I've turned the bike around, got the exhaust pipes on. Now I did make the mount for the CDI, and I did fit the starter solenoid in here, and then realised I couldn't fit the seat because the bit that goes under there for the seat wouldn't quite fit past it. So as you can see, I've got marked up there, job for today is to grind the paint back, weld the little bracket, clean that back up, weld that on there for the starter solenoid. I've just put the horn on there for the minute. I can't find anywhere to fit the horn out of the way. It might go there. It might end up having to go underneath, down on the old balance silencer box mountings. Wherever I put it, it seems to stand out. I don't like it. But so that's jobs for today, is to weld that solenoid on. Probably get the silencers on the back, and then I'm going to look at making that bracket to hold the front mudguard. That was my front radiator grill I knocked up. Now that expanded metal there I just got from the hardware shop for £4. That's the frame for my new expansion bowl. I painted it, as I said before, you got to watch the temperature. I painted that, I hung it outside in the sun, it was lovely. That was in the shade, and the paint went all grey. So it's warmed up a bit now, so I've got the heater on here. I'll probably give them a recoat later. But that's it for today. I'll watch that about, see if it makes any sense. See what you think. Bye.